The key to a fulfilling life is knowing when to say yes and then actually saying yes. In this video, you're going to learn how embracing opportunities, challenges, experiences can propel you forward toward your wildest dreams. My name is Peter Abundant, aka Dr. Abundant, PhD and ordained minister of metaphysical sciences. I am also the author of The Enlightened Shadow and Spiritual, Not Religious, both available on Amazon and Audible. Yes. Now, this video is kind of a part 2, a sequel to a video I did about the power of saying no and why saying no is very important. In fact, saying no is something that you probably do more than saying yes. That is because saying no means you are letting go of distractions. You are recognizing that the world is full of opportunities, infinite possibilities and opportunities, but not all of those opportunities, in fact, most of them are not meant for you. Now, when it comes to saying yes, that is where we focus on the opportunities that are possibly meant for you. And those opportunities are going to lead you forward toward your true potentiality. So you want to understand that there is a trap when it comes to always saying no. Think about this. How often do you say no just to stay comfortable? No is the word that is really associated with your comfort zone. And because you're in a space where you feel like you're not really completely comfortable, right? Because you have desires, you have ambitions, there are things that you wish you can do, that you want to do, that you say that you one day will do, but don't actually get to it. And, you're at this space where those things are there, but for some reason you are stagnant. You're in a place where, you are not agitated enough, bothered enough, motivated enough to actually pursue those goals. This is the comfort zone. You are comfortable in being uncomfortable. You are comfortable in the status quo. You are comfortable with the known. The thing that we often really don't take ownership on when it comes to saying yes to something is that yes often means stepping into the unknown. And for some reason, we have an aversion to the unknown. But it is the unknown that is actually going to get you to the fulfillment, to the joy, to the true understanding of who you are. And that's the part that we have to really understand, we have to accept, we have to embrace. As you go through life and you are in a space where you are maybe identifying opportunities, you're going through challenges and obstacles, but you're not using the lens of recognizing that all these challenges, obstacles, opportunities are actually avenues to lead you to that thing that you desire, that way of being that you know you should be existing in. And when you say no to a lot of things, especially the things that you know can potentially lead you to your truth, right? To the reality that you desire, it is going to be backed by things like fear, things like self-doubt, right? Things like even habits, right? Because a lot of times our habits are what continues to push you forward throughout your life, where you just keep moving, but you're not really moving. You're busy, but you're not really productive, right? You're hustling, but you're not really creating or building something. So you're keeping yourself small by continuously saying no to the things that you know can propel you forward, the things that you know can actually give you an opportunity, give you some experience, give you some perspective. And so when you recognize that always saying no will actually harm you, but most times saying no can actually and will actually be a benefit as long as you know how to focus that energy, right? As long as you know how to focus that understanding, that clarity, because most times saying no from a clear point of view as to what doesn't truly resonate with you versus what you fear because it truly resonates with you is two different things. And that is what you have to understand. And once you understand how to master no in a way that directs you to the thing that you are meant to say yes to, that is a true achievement in your level of understanding and spiritual awakening. Your spiritual awakening is grounded in you recognizing what works for you, right? What resonates with you, what aligns with what it is that you desire to create as an expression of your life. And so, no might feel safe because it's a trap, right? Meaning we say no all the time, and it is rightfully so to say no most of the time. The trick is, most of the time can easily turn into all the time, even when you know the thing that you're saying no to aligns with you. So you have to be always intentional whenever an opportunity comes up, whenever things happen, to recognize that this moment here will change the trajectory of your life in the direction that it can go. That's why they say, like, every moment that you decide something, you are essentially creating alternate realities of where you have actually made that decision. Out of all the choices and the options that you have and have ever had and will ever have, there exists a reality where you exist in that decision. So because you're so used to saying no, because saying no kind of lends itself to you being in your comfort zone, you have to acknowledge the importance of saying yes. Okay. You have to not always be focused on the idea that no means safety. Okay. Because every time you say no, you are actually more unsafe, so to speak, especially when you're saying no all the time. Okay. No, again, it might feel safe, but it often blocks your growth and keeps you stuck. Sometimes you can try something because you're not quite sure. Once you do it, that is going to give you the clarity to understand that it's a no. Once you try something, that is going to give you the clarity to understand that it's a yes, or at least a maybe, or curiosity. And so at that point, you take and make adjustments. You move forward in your life, understanding that there is something that intrigues you, that interests you. That is again going to lead you through the path of living in a reality where you are more fulfilled, right? Because now you are implementing more yeses in your life. The yeses create a space for you to have insight, perspective, experiences, deeper understanding. So no is for recognizing what doesn't align, misalignments, right? Yes is recognizing the possibilities, recognizing your own potential, moving forward and getting closer to your true self. So you want to flip it, right? What if yes is the key to unlock the next version of yourself? And remember, every version of yourself is taking you potentially closer to your true self, which we often call the best versions of ourselves, right? But I don't usually use that term because best, that references the idea that I'm not my best currently. And we should always be our best version, right? The current version. But I'm more interested in being my true self, not the best version of myself, but my true self, my most authentic self. But let me get into why yes changes everything. When you say yes to new things, especially, even when you feel nervous, even, you you experience something that you haven't really are not able to understand fully, but it allows for you to open the door, right, for unexpected wins. It allows you to be exposed to a whole new world. Now, when you say no, then you shut the door, you seal that door, and there is no possibilities, right, beyond that point. But saying yes allows you to recognize, okay, this door is intriguing to me, this opportunity, this thought process, this thing, this desire that I once had is and have is here. I am nervous, but I must take this journey. I must walk through this door, you know, and through this door is going to be a new life, a new way of existence. And that is going to be a win. Why? Because firstly, it takes you closer to true understanding, self-realization, recognizing you are the creator of your universe. Once you do that, then you understand that all aspects of life, all aspects of the universe are an expression of you, are of you, and therefore you can create of it anything that you desire. So each yes, especially a mindful yes, and that's really, really what I want you to get the point across here is that this is about a mindful yes, not just randomly saying yes to anything. Now, if that is your walk and that's how you wish to experience life, fine. But what I'm talking about is saying yes responsibly and making sure that the thing that you're saying yes to aligns with what you desire, no matter how much you fear doing it, no matter how nervous you feel about it, no matter how much of an imposter you feel about doing it. Recognize that you have created that opportunity by way of your consciousness and its desire to do so, to experience it. You have said no to all the things that you are clear about that doesn't resonate with you. Yes is now cultivating a space where you polish, where you come into a true recognition that this is you, right? Not in a way that means that this act is your identity, but this act, this desire, this thing is an expression of you. This is why you wish to experience it in the first place. It's almost like going backwards in time. Like you see it, you want it because you already know that it is yours. You see? So you have to recognize that yes, each yes is going to stretch you, is going to teach you. It gives you something valuable, things like courage, new skills, even new connections, new understandings. The most powerful stories comes from those who simply just say yes, and when everything inside of them says and screams no, they still take the plunge, right? They still jump. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of times when your insides is saying no, there is still a draw to it. There is still magnetism. There's still an attraction to the thing. And many times we can clearly, like consciously identify, like, if we want to be an actor and we have to get up on stage for the first time, we have to do maybe a one-man show, a one-woman show. You're going to be nervous. Everything is going to say, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But right? That small part of you knows this is purpose. This is why you exist, why you are here, what you are meant to experience. And therefore, you say yes and you go for it. You may be wanting to be in a relationship and you are connected and friends with this amazing individual, this amazing person, but you've experienced a lot of hurt in past relationships, a lot of trauma, a lot of things that you haven't maybe dealt with or healed properly and gotten over. But yet you feel drawn to say yes to this person, to commit to this person, even though a large part of you says no, because you are scared to experience what you want to experience before. you have to understand that though the no's have some validity, the yes is going to really bring you through toward a deeper understanding of you and who you are. Saying yes is like an hidden power. Saying yes when you desire to manifest things, right? You do all the things, you do all the affirmations, you visualize, you do mirror work, you do shadow work, you work on aligning and unblocking your chakras. You do everything, grounding, you go to communities and spiritual groups, but for some reason, you're not manifesting that thing. It's because you haven't said yes, which many times what we do is we go and do these things to try to convince ourselves, to try to make it seem like we are putting in the work, right? And that very idea of, okay, I need to read more books, I need to do this, I need to do that. All those things in many ways are you saying no to yourself, when it's simply a matter of acknowledging that that desire and you are one. That is yours. That is you because you desire it. That is saying yes. So don't feel like you have to jump through a bunch of hurdles to get that thing that you desire. Just simply say yes to yourself. Yes to yourself looks like self-acceptance, self-love, right? Enjoying spending time with yourself, being in love with every bit of you, even the things that you once did not like about yourself, right? Your feet, your hips, your cellulite, your stretch marks, a little bit of fat here, your muscles aren't big enough. You don't have the 6-pack abs. Your legs are skinny. Whatever it is, learn to understand that that is who you are currently. And when you say yes to all of you, then you can finally say yes to that which you desire. Like attracts like. So first say yes to yourself. Every new experience, essentially, it helps you to really understand what you're made of, right? And what you're capable of becoming. So when we look at what we've been through in our lives, when we look at current challenges that you're going through now, many times you forget what you've been through in your life. And because you forget that, it's hard to get over what's currently happening, right? It's hard to recognize that, wait a minute, I've been through something like this before, many times before. And I've gotten through those things many times before. Nothing's happened. Nothing bad has happened. I've survived, didn't lose much. I'm still here. And so you should identify and understand that this thing that you're going through currently will also pass and you will also survive and everything will also be fine. And as you carry that understanding with you, that is more so in alignment with saying yes to the fact that you are an infinite being. There is nothing to fear. And therefore, you can just simply claim your desire, claim the way in which you desire to be, claim the things that you desire to experience as you are being who you claim to be, and thus create the lifestyle and the life that you desire. So you have to understand that the experience you're going through is an expression of what you're capable of being. That's why you're going through the experience. It is a way of your consciousness, right? Your higher mind, your higher self is giving you the clues as to how you're going to get through to be that true self, how you're going to actually achieve self-realization. You might just stumble into your purpose, by stepping into what once felt too big for you. But ultimately, when you say yes, and you recognize who you are as an infinite being, as a spark of God, then you recognize that there is nothing that can stop you besides you, right? So you begin to expand. You begin to come into an understanding of your purpose being more important than the fear. Because you're still going to have the fear. You're still going to be nervous. You're still going to maybe have some anxiety. You're still going to maybe worry, maybe question, maybe experience a little bit of self-doubt, but always come back to the reality as to who you are. An infinite being living a human experience. That's what you chose for yourself. And when you understand that and you carry that with you, then you recognize why it's so important to say yes to you. Say yes to the things that align with the desire that you wish to experience in this life. The real benefits of saying yes means that you build spiritual self-confidence, right? Which ultimately makes you stronger. And it teaches you how to adapt, right? Adaptation is about really acknowledging that, yeah, you have fear, you have anxiety, you have worry, but you learn how to manipulate and move that in a way that allows you to step into the unknown, step into the door of infinite possibilities. But those possibilities all align with who you truly are. That's the interesting about it. You know, it always opens you up to better, relationships, more joy. You see, a deeper connection with yourself and with others. Why? Because you and the others are one anyway. You have to understand that you'll start to feel more alive, more fulfilled, and more in tune with your true self when you really say yes to yourself. Say yes to even your ego, your conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind, all aspects of yourself, even the dark shadow. Recognize that still these things are you. They are an expression of you. They are an expression of, and they are tools for life. They are the things that you are equipped with to achieve true self-realization. And they're going to get you through it. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed of your body. Don't feel ashamed of your living situation. You must say yes to everything. In order for you to transcend everything, you must say yes to yourself in order to understand that you are more than the self. This is about not creating resistance, not creating a sense of shame, guilt, denial as to what the situation is. When you recognize everything, you don't avoid it, you don't hide it, you don't distract yourself from it, you don't get too much into escapism, right? To avoid and not deal with it. You accept it. Once you accept it by saying yes to it, then it allows you to transcend and say yes to your true desire. It's another way of saying gratitude, right? Gratitude is about saying yes to the things that you are grateful for, being happy for them things, and recognizing that they bring you joy. They bring you a sense of fulfillment. And then you carry that vibration and frequency out into, right? Or you carry that to motivate, to fuel you toward getting, attracting, aligning with that desire you wish to experience. Start living a yes life. Most importantly, say yes to yourself. Say yes to your spiritual journey. Everything that you're experiencing is the journey. So don't feel like that one thing, that one person, if I didn't have to experience them, then my life would be perfect. Your life is already perfect. So say yes to all those things, embrace those things in a way that aligns with your transformation, your self-realization. Look at your life right now where you've been, holding things back, where you've been resistant. And it's find where you can say yes. That person that you can't stand, that you just wish didn't exist, say yes to the possibility that there is something you can learn from them. In fact, say yes to the possibility that there is something you are already learning. You're just resistant. You're just not able to see it yet. That job that you're at that you can't stand, say yes to the possibility that, you know what? That job is still providing for you to watch Netflix, have a roof over your head, eat food, have nice clothes, have some clothes, provide for your kids, even take some of that money and maybe invest it in your own business, invest it in stocks or some kind of investing opportunity so that way you don't have to work a job again. But saying yes is not about waiting for the perfect time, okay? It's not about only saving your yes for the biggest things. Be mindful that in life, things happen in a cumulative nature, right? They happen in small doses and eventually over time it increases to become something big. When you think about habits, that's essentially what a habit is. It's a small thing that you do on a consistent basis that eventually creates a huge result. So with saying yes, same thing applies. Start small and make sure that yes is geared towards something you're curious about, passionate about, talented, with, and want to do. Try something new. Reach out, like extend yourself. Because it's important to listen to your inner voice and allow that inner voice to have the freedom, the flexibility, the safety to speak out, right? To speak up. Your future voice is waiting on the other side of your next yes. It's waiting for you. No is important. No is going to create the space for you to say yes. So yes is in fact more important. Okay? So understand that if you always say no, you're never going to get to your yes. You're never going to get to life being yes for you. If you are constantly saying no to things, life is going to constantly say no to you. But if you're mindful about your no's and you intentionally, mindfully say yes, then life is going to be a yes for you. It's going to give you the yeses that you desire. So what I want you to do in the comments below, if this video resonated with you, say yes. Type yes in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com. Please subscribe to my daily newsletter and get access to this free ebook, The Power Within, and so much more. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.